What's up, everybody? I'm Kyle Carlson, and this is the Rollback BMX Podcast, the #1 BMX podcast in the universe, according to me. Today's guest is Clint Millar. Clint is an Australian BMX legend and the owner and boss man at Colony. We discuss all things Colony, how it started, where it's heading, Clint's love for Volkswagens and for front brakes, the time he accidentally banned himself from the United States for 5 years, and a whole lot more. So sit back, listen up, enjoy yourself. This is the Rollback BMX Podcast with Clint Millar. So we are here in beautiful outskirts of Stuttgart, Germany, and I am joined with Mr. Clint Millar. Clint, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you.
I was telling you yesterday that when I was a child and I saw photos of you in magazines, for the longest time I thought you were German.
Oh, yeah, a few people did. A few people have. Losey back in the day, he thought I was full German, which I don't know how, but I guess I did spend a bit of time here in 2001. I actually did live in Cologne for like a year, so...
Were you riding for We the People back then? Is that kind of how you ended up over
here?
Yeah,
so I came out, I think it was the 2000 Worlds. We the People had just sort of started coming out a bit there, had Josh Hino on the team.
Okay.
And I came out here, rode the comp, did all right. I think I got 5th in mini ramp or whatnot. And Stefan Prantl asked me, hey, would you like to ride for We the People? And I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool.
Did you ride for anybody at the time?
No. I was riding Jason N's Volume Destroyer.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Then his next question was, hey, do you want to distribute with the people in Australia for us? And I was like, probably not that. I don't know how to do that or
you
whatever.
You were just kind of a random kid.
Yeah, I was just
random kid riding bikes.
Well, not so much. I think I was 24 at the time or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Whatever I was, I don't know, but 26 even. But yeah, rode for We the People from that day onwards.
So did you end up doing the distro with them in Australia at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. I was then... I knew another company and I put them in touch with that one and they did it. So
what year did you actually start Colony?
I started Colony in 2005.
Okay.
Basically, I was traveling the world, riding for We the People.
Yep.
Going around to all the comps, just living the dream, basically. And noticing that America had its own brands, the UK had its own brands, Spain, Canada, anywhere you could think of, they had their own BMX brands. But Australia at the time had a lot of the best riders at the time, like Gutler and so forth, Corey Bowen, Dilly Ward, Colin McKay, all those guys. And I was like, well, you know what? We need to have our own brand. And I started Colony. At the time, it was just meant to be a little parts brand. I was still riding for We the People at the time. It's just going to have some bar ends, some pegs and whatnot. Launched it and it blew up and things escalated quite quickly.
So did you have any background in making parts or anything? I mean, was this you just learning as you were doing it? Or
I guess from, at the time what it would have been 15, 20 years of riding BMX. Yeah, I think that's enough of qualifications to do that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, my first... Yeah, it definitely was a learning curve. But
were you having things made in Asia?
Yeah, it's all been made in Taiwan.
Because that's got to be, I would assume that's difficult, having never done that. That would have to be a weird step if you've never done that before.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, took a plane ride, went to the Taipei show, and met up with a then agent, and started from there, and just went from there. Did little mud map drawings of the parts that we wanted or whatnot, and got it made. And yeah, it was definitely a steep learning curve, but... very fun one.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. When you first started Colony, was Ryan Gutler a part owner?
No. So started Colony, and we're like, I wanted Gutler as the first team rider and whatnot.
Yep.
And he was like, oh, well, I'd like to be a partner in it or something. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool, but what can you offer? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, look, I think it's best if you're the first team rider. It'll be my brand, and we'll go forward from there. But use your input into whatever parts, and that's where his official stem and official forks and unlucky 13 handlebar came about, and that's how it sort of grew from there. So.
And then he was with Colony. Did he go back on Colony after Miraco?
Yeah, so I think he was on. I mean, I don't know exact timelines here.
I'm thinking out loud.
It was kind of a strange thing because I think he was on Colony, and then I think the Miraco thing happened. I think.
Okay.
So, and then it was like, that happened, and he said, oh, well, how do we do this? And I was like, well, we'll just turn Colony to your part sponsor, and Miraco can be your...
And you go make your $100,000.
Frames, exactly. Because I wasn't going to hold anyone back of that sort of stuff.
Of course not.
Yeah, that's how that happened. So then I think the first Miraco bikes, some of the Black Pearls of Ryan's bikes, were heavily spec'd with Colony high-end parts.
Which is awesome.
Well, for me as a brand, I launched it, bang, and Miraco launched soon afterwards. And,
with that track backing.
Was touted to be the biggest thing in BMX. And then all of a sudden, Miraco bikes have got Colony stuff on there. And I was like, wow, we've made this. We've made it before we've even done anything yet.
Big step forward.
Yeah, it definitely was. It boosted the brand into the people knew about it and so forth. So yeah, it was good.
So are you the sole owner?
Yes.
That's good.
I did start it with a partner. That didn't turn out that well.
Okay.
Bought him out, and I've been doing it solo since 2009. So I guess we first launched late 2006, early 2007. For the most part though, I've been doing it by myself.
Does that seem to be a good way to do
it?
things?
Definitely. I mean, I would never have a business partner ever again. It just doesn't work out.
Yeah. I guess it would be hard too when it's something you're so passionate about.
Well, that's it. It's definitely my everything, and I like to give it all, and that's it.
Yeah, that's kind of leads to success. I think that bleeds through, and
I think so. Yeah, I mean, if there's any, I'm not doing it just for monetary stuff. It's
you could probably find a better business with bigger margins.
Of course you could. But I mean, at the same time, I'm doing what I love and helping out multiple riders at the same time, and get to travel the world with those guys, send them around let them live their dreams as well too, which what it is for me.
How many employees do you have?
There's myself, there's Glenn McLaughlin, who I've known since, probably 96-ish, I think, or even earlier, maybe. I can't remember.
Wow.
Known Glenn for a long time.
Okay.
Glenn's awesome. He's
BMX lifer?
Oh, definitely. He's
cool.
The one that I leave pretty much the keys to the business with, and whenever I go away overseas or anywhere, I trust Glenn 1,000,000%. Then we've got Cooper Brownlee,
of course,
who runs Focal Point. He's my everything. He does like artwork, direction, social media, videography, photography, you name it, he does it. Team managerial skills.
I don't know Cooper well, and I couldn't possibly think more highly of him.
Well, right now, I said, hey, Cooper, we're going to come to this room and do this thing. Do you want to come and hang out? And the other guys, oh, yeah, well, maybe we'll come. And Cooper's like, no, I'm going to go home. I got hours of footage to clock. So Cooper, he had some handlebars out with Colony a few years back, or the 24/7s.
Okay.
Because he lives BMX 24/7, and Cooper really does. And then, just recently, just got another guy called Steve. Steve's going to sort of head up our internal phone sales, because that's something that I struggle with in terms of time to dedicate towards that with everything else I've got going on.
Especially when the other shit's fun and exciting. Well, designing new parts.
Yeah, it's all that. But I love getting on the phone and talking to people too. So, it's so at the moment, what's that? That's 3, myself. And then my wife Nikki, she also helps out a bit as well too. So
small crew,
a very small crew. Yeah, some people think we're some huge big brand.
I love that.
With multiple whatevers. But I get emails from kids sometimes saying, "Hey, this, that. You're a big corporate whatever." And I was like, "We're far from that." But we're here, we're riders, and that's what we do. So
I can't remember who it was. It was like somebody in the like a rider, like an up and coming pro rider or something. Recently, I had to explain to them that Mongoose was bigger than Total.
Oh, really?
And I was like, I guess it's just kids are blinded by it. I think Colonies, you know what I mean?
Oh,
the coverage, the riders, there's all this out there that makes it seem so big. And it's like, nah, man, this is mom and pop.
Any rider-owned brand is very, grassroots, I'll tell you that. So, and we're definitely one of those, so...
So you have a couple brands, correct? You have Academy and Division?
Yeah, so when I launched Colony, worked very hard to have it as its own high-end brand, which it is.
Yep.
And then the market, especially in Australia, sort of inverted around about 2012, I believe it was, where everyone was asking for cheaper complete bikes. And I kept resisting that because I didn't want to dilute the hard work I've done with Colony. Of
course.
And that's when I started...
You can't make that $14,000 Mercedes-Benz, That's a $50,000 car on the low end.
That's right. So then that's when I launched Academy.
Yep.
And so it's kind of like you look at it as academies, perhaps the Volkswagen, and colonies like the Audi.
Yep.
You know, it comes out of the same people, whatnot, but it's just built to a different
it's for a different
and
consumer.
a different market, different consumer.
Yep.
That's correct. And then at that same time, we launched Division.
Yep.
Which we've had Cooper being the sort of the face of that, being that's more of a street orientated brand and so forth. So yeah, 3 different brands. And then just as of say August last year, launched my own distribution company called Family Distribution,
which is distro in Australia.
That's correct. It's in Australia, so we currently handle Colony, Division, and also Colt in Australia.
Oh wow,
so,
right on.
Yeah, and that's going really well. So
you got Jason Watts on deck, kind of.
Yeah, very much.
That's
Jason,
awesome.
Just before this whole trip, Jason was at the warehouse the other day putting a new frame together and whatnot. So,
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Yeah, things are going well.
Yeah. Are you still digging it? Still having fun?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. No,
how do you find the balance to still get on your bike and ride? Because I know from even what I do working in the BMX world, there's times I'm burned out. Like after I've worked all day, the last thing I want to do is go touch a BMX bike. I want to go drink a beer and watch fighting on TV. I just want nothing to do with BMX. Like, and I see you, I know you're putting in crazy amounts of hours to make this brand as flourish as it has, but I still see you absolutely killing it, riding regularly and stuff. How do you find that balance?
Yeah, I guess it is hard, but I guess I kind of cheat a little bit, and I've built my dream backyard ramp in the backyard there. So having that there, I still don't ride it by myself though. I find that absolutely boring and just can't. I think I've done it probably twice that the ramp's been there all these years.
Kind of dangerous too if you're getting
loose. Very
That's
much.
Kind
I
of
mean,
a scary thing.
Not that what I do is I mess around the front wheel all day, but yeah, definitely. I mean, having the guys all come around, it's awesome. I look forward to it. We've pretty much. I try to ride. Sometimes a bit touch and go, but every Thursday afternoon, try to start to do that. Ride in the afternoon there,
nice.
Get the guys over. Kind of makes the weekend feel like it's a long weekend there.
Are a lot of the guys kind of near you?
Yeah, like you've got with all within an hour's drive.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sometimes some of the guys are a lot closer. So
yep.
Having sessions and just it is though. Sometimes the guys are like, let's have a ride, and I'm like, and I'm busy on a schedule of putting productions in or whatnot with bikes and ordering things, and I really can't enjoy it and sit back and ride until I've got that stuff done. So yes, it does take a second seat to the actual business and work stuff, but at the same time, I love BMX still, and I'm hoping I'm still doing Canadian nose picks when I'm 60. So
how old are you now?
I'm 44 right now, 45 in a couple of weeks. So
you got about 15 and a half years.
That's it.
Keep
exactly.
It up.
That's it.
I watch DMC ride and whatnot. And I'm like, dude, completely realistic.
Amazing.
Completely realistic, man.
What is DMC these days?
53, I think.
53 and still doing 900s.
Dude.
That's hats off to Dennis. That's amazing. I mean, actually, Dennis was when I first started back in '88, doing tricks. I guess before that, I was I think '84 I got my first bike, but in '88 when I discovered that it actually was a thing.
Yes,
Dennis McCoy is my most favorite rider because he did ramp and he did flatland, and my background originally was from flatland, but I was one of the few flatlanders in Australia that would actually enter the ramp comps as well, and I'd go ride street. And I'd go
just
ride
all around
dirt
BMXer.
jumps. I was an all-around BMXer.
Yeah.
Dennis was exactly that, and Dennis was my first, idol rider, if you want to call it.
Your first crush.
Yeah, first BMX crush. There you go. Love you, Dennis.
I love coming to places like this. We're out at the Vans BMX Pro Cup, and McCoy's usually hanging out, and he's a dude I'll end up having a conversation with. And I'll kind of have to take 2 steps back and be like, oh shit, that's Dennis McCoy. Totally. We're talking about random bullshit or what to eat at the restaurant next door and stuff. And it's like, I'm having this conversation with goddamn Dennis McCoy.
I know. I still get a buzz. Like all these sort of guys, I rock up, say good day. I mean, I don't get out to all these things all that often. And Dennis is like, oh, how you doing, Clint? And I'm like, oh, wow, he still remembers my name. Like, oh, this is cool. And I see Joe Rich and Ruben and Taj. I haven't seen Taj for a few years. See him again. Hey, how you doing, Clint? I'm like, oh, wow, you remember who I am.
Yep.
Cool, So, good times for sure.
Do you still make it a point to try to get to 1 or 2 events a year?
Lately, I have. I mean, a few years ago, the first that was FIS 2017, I think. I've always watched that spine ramp comp. That I was like, wow, I got to get to that one of these days, and it always seemed to fall on certain business duties that I've got all around May. But then that year, it was later in May, and I was like, man, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go over there and yeah, I mean, since that...
Dude, watching you ride that ramp was incredible.
Oh, thank you.
I think people still talk about it during the event, because that was just last week or 2 weeks ago, and like, oh man, sure sucks Miller isn't here.
Yeah.
Everybody was so pumped. It was,
I'd love to go back, but I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to match what I did before. So I've almost kind of think, okay, I might retire from fees now.
There you go.
We'll see what happens.
Retire as champion.
Yeah.
Undisputed.
So, no, not so much champion, but just being the old guy in the class, I guess. But yeah, and since then I'm like, you know what? I want to just, sponsor myself and send myself around to a few events. And I love it. I mean, being here in Stuttgart right now, I've got nothing really to offer a whole bowl sort of comp like this, but just wanted to get in there for myself and do
I see you brought a hell of a crew with you.
Yeah, there's like 10 of us here right now from Colony team.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of doing a Europe trip?
Yeah, 8 of us are afterwards. Alex and Josh are heading back home. Well, I think Alex might be hanging out now. I'm not too sure now, but
he's playing the Visa game, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I think he is going to come to the Worlds. We're all going to go to the Worlds next week in Cologne.
That's awesome.
And do a bit of a trip in between that, and yeah.
So Clint, who actually is on the Colony Pro team right now?
Yeah, we've got Alex Heim, Anthony Napolitan for the States, Chris Courtney for Brisbane, Chris James from the Gold Coast, Jack Kelly, Street Killer from Melbourne.
He's good.
Oh, amazing! He's going through
really
a bit. He's going through a bit of knee stuff right now,
Okay.
but amazing on a bike.
Yeah.
Jake Warwork,
Of course.
Up there. Jaden Fuller, Kostya from Russia, is getting here tomorrow morning.
Hell yeah.
Ricky Kazanjianti, as you mentioned before.
Can of spaghetti.
Yeah, can of spaghetti. That's probably easier to say.
Big fan of his.
And that's pretty much it. One that he wouldn't know this yet, but Josh Dove, obviously, is going to get the bump up pretty much probably once he hears this, I guess. Or
He probably doesn't listen to my podcast.
Maybe
so.
just before. Yeah, who knows. But,
maybe tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So, all the guys on the team are they're amazing. They're good people first and great bike riders after that. So,
and it kind of seems like you continue to hook dudes, even if they're not a pro, they're not super active. You still have your lifers, right? You still have your
definitely.
Dudes,
We have the family team, which
bloody oath.
We've got Nick Richardson, we've got Kenny Raggett, we've got Shane Badman, we've got Mick Bazand, absolute rail killer, and OG of Australian BMX scene. Yeah.
And I respect that. I respect when a brand's ran like a family like that, where even if you're not the dude going on the trips and whatnot, it's not like we're not homies. Like we're still in this together.
Oh, totally. And
roles change, lives change, priorities change. Like, it's all good.
And the support I give all of them really doesn't change that much. So, obviously, if you're in the pro team, you're going to get a few more perks here or there. But yeah, that's it. So
solid lineup.
Yeah, thank you.
I was going to ask you about Jake Walwork. I've spent a little bit of time with him, and he's doing quite well with this whole Olympic thing.
Yep.
What's your thought on this whole BMX in the Olympics? As you as a lifer, and what it can do to the sport, and
I welcome it wholeheartedly. I was speaking to Bart about it the other day, actually, but no, I think it's a great thing, and anyone that thinks otherwise, then that's cool. Everyone can have their own opinion, but
Absolutely.
Basically, unless you want to be striving to be an Olympic athlete, then don't worry about it. I feel. Because it's only going to bring positivity and growth to BMX in general. Even if you don't want to be an Olympic athlete, then you're still going to benefit from it being involved with that, because more governments around the world are going to invest into BMX. There's going to be more parks to ride. There's going to be more opportunities sponsorship-wise from outside companies outside of BMX. So it's only going to grow BMX. It's only a positive thing, and if you don't want to be involved with it, then you don't need to be. You just ignore it and do your own thing. That's the beauty of BMX. So
yeah, that's kind of my thought process as well, where it's not taking away. The Vans BMX Pro Cup still exists. There's other events. There's other outlets.
Totally.
Like it's, if it's not for you, cool.
That's it. You don't have to be involved with it. Don't have to watch it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But it's only going to help everyone that anyone that has a bike, rides a bike, it will benefit you in some sort of way.
Might open some doors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If at the very least there's a new park built in your neighborhood, and that's it.
Yeah.
Go and ride and have
you
fun.
won. You won thanks to the Olympics.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What are your thoughts on Jake getting in there and representing Australia? Is that a big deal to you, or are you just kind of...
I'm stoked on it. I'd met Jake for the first time at that FEES comp 2017.
Oh, wow. So you met the Australian dude in France.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I mean, I'd heard of him a little bit, but yeah, he was killing it, and got talking to him, and he was polite as, which to me, for any of my team guys, they've got to be, a good person first and foremost. And he was, and is, and got on a bike and got talking to him, and he wasn't sort of getting too much support at the time, and I'm like, all right, well, let's do this. I'd like to help you out and get you around to more events, and he's doing well.
He's a hell of a bike rider.
Oh, amazing! Yeah,
pretty goddamn incredible. He'll
definitely. He's very, very dedicated. Very, he's going for it for sure.
I think he's the only guy I've ever seen do flare downside tail whips both ways.
Yeah.
Like that's not. I can't even fathom that in my brain.
I can't fathom half the stuff he does. Pretty much all of it. But yeah.
So tell me about jet fuel. Did you create that?
No. That was
you were one of the first, or were you the first?
No. We were probably one of the last almost to get.
Were you?
Well,
okay.
Not the last, but I think. Yeah, I mean, there's also different. I mean, we call it Rainbow. But,
Rainbow, gotcha. Okay.
Just because there were other names for it, I didn't want to just have the same.
Do people trademark those? Is that a weird?
Nah,
okay.
Nah. No, I just wanted to call it something different than to call it whatever everyone else was. But
yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm 44 and I have a bit of the stuff on my bike.
Do you?
And, yeah, I do. I have spokes and a couple other things, but yeah, I mean, I think it can be definitely overkill if you go too crazy on it. But I think having a little subtle sort of thing with it, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you essentially started Colony, you were thinking about an Australian brand, and it's kind of grown into an international brand where it's all over the world. Obviously, it's still based in Australia. At what point did you start working towards that? Getting these other distributions, sponsoring riders in other regions?
Well, that sort of just happened by default at the very start.
Kind of an organic thing.
It was. I mean, I launched it and thought that perhaps like the US market, which it is the hardest one to get into, but it was actually our first one that we got into. And just got that, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. And then next thing you know, we had distribution in Germany, and then it was the UK and Brazil and Canada and Japan and everywhere else you can think of. It all just sort of happened. It all happened very fast.
So within the first couple of years of being in business, it was all over the world?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'd say, probably the first 24 months, I guess. It happened quite quickly, and it was blown away by the reaction to it.
How far into when you first started the brand did you start doing complete bikes?
First ever complete bike was done actually through We the People.
Oh, really?
Harry at We the People there. Yeah, we wanted to do a bike and really didn't have any sort of connections or thoughts of how to do that. And he offered, we can do a, We the People / Colony collab sort of style bike it was. And that was the first one. And then after that, just took it from ourselves and went from there. So that was in 2007, I think it was. So probably 6-12 months max after the brand was launched.
Okay. Pretty quick then.
Yeah, it was.
What percentage of your brand would you say is complete bikes as far as what you're selling? Is it a pretty large percent?
No, it's actually, and I'm glad it's not, to be honest. It's probably only 30%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If not less. I'd say a good 70% is the high-end P&A, which is what I want my brand to be looked at as. Yes, we do make complete bikes and we do sell them and do all right with them, but it's the parts that, what I want my brand to be about. So
the high-end stuff.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah. Is that hard to keep up with those goals?
No, actually, I mean, no, it's not. It's, just keep doing what we're doing and, keep an eye out for that new stuff that's coming around or have those new ideas or whatnot.
So are you doing all the product development yourself whenever you come out with something new?
Yeah, pretty much.
You?
That's all for me. It's,
So there's no brilliant scientist in a lab creating this stuff?
That's just me with a bunch of years of experience, I guess. So, yeah.
How far do you really want to take it? I mean, is it something you think you could do on a larger scale, but still keep that same core mentality and that same quality? Or do you think...
Well, to be honest, I actually tried that recently. About 3 years ago, I teamed up with a larger distribution company in Australia, sort of to take some of the...
So were you doing your own distro, then you went with these guys?
That's correct. I was doing it myself from 2009 up until 2016, I think it is. But it was growing so much that it was hard to keep up with it all. And at the same time, wanting to sort of somewhat keep a life for myself as
Yeah.
well outside of just working and so forth. So teamed up with a larger distribution company to hopefully alleviate some of those pressures or whatnot. And 3 years into that, it was sort of apparent that it sort of really wasn't having that desired effect. And since then, brought the brands into what we've now formed as family distribution, just to take the control of it back and put it in the direction that I want it to be.
Was
basically.
it a situation where you almost didn't have full control over your brand, you felt like?
Oh, no, not so much. Yeah, I mean, somewhat, but it was just getting a bit more complicated and sort of not the direction that I wanted to. I mean, I'm quite sort of relaxed in my business sense of way of doing things, and I guess getting told how to do things, I guess whatnot was
something you created.
I was like,
Yeah.
you know what, this is not really what I signed up for, and but it's family's only been going for a little while now, but yeah, having fun with it again, which is what it's all about for me.
We've seen the BMX industry go through some weird stages in the past couple years. Some might call it a recession. A handful of brands, obviously the Dan's Comp fiasco is a situation that's affected a lot of bike companies. I feel like there's almost a crazy amount of oversaturation. I think there's too many brands that don't really do much. Have you dealt with any of this stuff in the past couple of years? Have you seen sales drop or just less people on bikes or anything? Or how have the past couple of years been for you?
Yeah, especially in Australia, it goes up and down.
Yeah.
Definitely goes up and down, different trends and whatnot. I guess the sort of in Australia, we've had a big scooter population grow, and that's definitely taken sales away from BMX. And that was actually kind of the catalyst for me to actually launch Academy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because at the time, in Australia, like a $400 BMX bike is the cheap sort of entry level bike. And at the time then, a $400 BMX bike was basically a piece of crap.
Yes.
And parents would buy that kid that BMX bike, ride it, it would all fall apart, they'd get discouraged with it, and then quit BMX. So I launched Academy to make a $400 BMX bike that was actually good and could withstand normal everyday sort of riding.
Ridden. You can take it to the skate park and learn some shit.
And actually do some stuff on it, and actually keep kids encouraged, and parents, because they're the ones buying the bikes or whatnot, and keep them encouraged to stay with BMX. So that definitely helped there. But yeah, it definitely, BMX has its up and downs everywhere, and we're not, in Australia especially, we're not removed from that so much, but you've just got to keeping true to yourself, really, I think, and pull through that, because I guess there are probably a few brands out there that probably shouldn't be around, but
I agree. Is it a conscious effort to navigate through situations where I totally see like a lot of brands when they hit these bumps in the road, it's kind of apparent. It's like where they're cutting costs. Like, oh, okay, I can tell you're struggling. You just let 4 riders go. No advertising anywhere. Your team's not going on trips, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like Colony's always done a good job of finding that balance to where even when BMX is booming or BMX is on a low, it seems like you always are able to maintain that same cool image and be that same cool brand. And there's, it doesn't seem, there's not any obvious sacrifice to me as an outsider. Is that a conscious effort, or is that just kind of organic?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, being that I love BMX as I do, we're always going to be doing it. I mean, I'm going to be doing this till forever. So yeah, you do need to cut costs, I guess, like any business, but there's other ways you can do that.
Yeah.
Other than taking away from team riders and all that sort of stuff, because that's pretty much the reason I do all this is, I mean, I'm a BMX rider myself, and
you have that perspective because you've lived both sides.
Well, back when I was, a pro rider for Australia or whatnot, there wasn't even a dream to even get any assistance in that way. So
maybe free bike if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, yeah, some sticker packs or whatnot. But
yep.
The fact that I can afford to and work hard enough to make things work, that I can give all the guys bikes and girls, and help them out to get around the world and whatnot. That's
not something you're willing to make cuts in. That's
well, no. That's
as long
as
Colony exists.
As much as I can do that, yeah, exactly. I want to keep that going, and just give back to those guys and girls as much as I can.
And I think that's real commendable, and I think you're in a unique spot because you've been on both sides of the tracks, to where I think the value in that, and that perspective, and being that hungry kid that's trying to make things happen, and having that dude that wants the new Mercedes, so he's cutting the team. We've all seen it.
Yeah, no, definitely, and going back to the team, everyone that's on it, they're all good people.
Yeah,
and without them, it's would definitely make things a lot different for myself. Nowhere near as much as fun as it is. And I want to give back to them as much as I can, and they're all very appreciative of it, I feel, and that's what makes it all worthwhile for myself.
I think it's cool because, at least to me, it seems like it's a brand that everybody on it likes. You know how you find the guys that have their sponsor and you're like, he's there for a paycheck, he's there for the travel budget. It seems like dudes actually like the brand.
Well, and that's it. That's I don't. Any of the team riders that are on it, yeah, exactly. They do hang around because they like it. It's not just because it's a paycheck or it's a flight every now and then or free bikes or whatever. It's because they generally like what we're doing, and to me, that's I wouldn't have anyone otherwise. So
I think you may have been one of the first brands. I think DK and Colony were the first brands I can think of that were sponsoring female freestyle riders.
Yeah, I've had Peter Shepherd from way back in the day.
Yes.
And then when she sort of started stepping aside from it a bit, just from injuries and other commitments and whatnot, she actually, put me in touch and said that I should hook up Natalia Diem. And I've been, I guess before even, girls in BMX was a big thing. Yeah,
yes.
We have been, and we'll continue to do so.
What led to that? I mean, that you kind of went out on a limb there because you weren't really following a path. You were like,
no,
people weren't doing that, and you did it. What made you do that?
Seeing Peter Shepherd do a downside whip to disaster. I was just like, wow, that's amazing.
That'll do it.
I was like, all right, well, yeah, she's got to be a part of it, and she was, and still, doesn't ride so much now, but it was amazing. That was just, to me, that open eye. That's an amazing trick, and for anyone to be doing that trick, that's awesome. So just grew from there.
How do you feel, having been so supportive of women in freestyle, to see where it's at now? It's kind of grown to this larger stage. It's pretty incredible.
It's amazing. Watching it today was mind-boggling. It was such a high level of riding there. Hats off to them. The girls are doing good.
So is your only woman on the team, is it Natalia now?
Natalia, that's
Would
right.
you ever sponsor more? Is that
well, we've got a younger girl, actually, Sarah Nicky from in Canberra.
Okay. I've heard of her. I think pretty young.
Don't quote me here, but maybe 11, I think she is.
Okay, yep.
Quite young. And she's, we're just going to start.
Was she at the Pro Cup in Sydney?
Yes.
Yes, okay, that's why
she rode with the girls. Little Sarah.
That's awesome.
So going to start flying her some stuff and going from there. I mean, she already rides a Colony now anyway, but
perfect fit.
Yeah, just, again, goes back to the riders that actually, they like the brand already. It's not as if we're pulling them away from something else.
Yeah.
She's already into it, so that's just a perfect transition for me to say, all right, well, let's help you out a bit more and give some thanks back to her for even,
supporting
the brand to start with. So, but again, I guess being an Australian brand, we are quite sort of fixated on Australian riders, just because there isn't sort of too much going for some of them sometimes.
Yep.
And just keep giving back. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's apparent, and I think it's kind of an exciting time for that aspect of life. It's cool seeing new life breathed into it and seeing some newer faces doing it, and going from, it's so insane that she did a downside whip to disaster to now there's a bunch of women that are riding really goddamn well.
Oh, amazing, yeah, exactly.
Have you ridden front brakes your whole life?
Pretty much. I mean, I come from my flatland days. That's just when everyone rode 4 pegs and front and back brakes and whatnot. And then started messing around with mini ramps and whatnot. I broke my scaphoid in 1998 at an Oceanside BS comp, actually. It was my first ever pro comp. And I crashed there and broke my scaphoid. And so it really hurt to do a toothpick or whatever after that. I mean, it was in a cast for, the 2 months or whatever. But even after that, it just hurt to do any front wheel sort of stuff. So I did take my front brakes off for about 6 months there. But just because it just hurt too much to do that sort of stuff. And I did, try to be a cool kid, I guess, and took both brakes off for a couple of months there or whatever. But, then I just sort of woke up to myself and said, you know what, this is I'm just going to do what I love and do what I like. So that's sort of where I am.
What do you think about front brake riding today? I feel like it's not dead, but there's just not a whole lot of new dudes doing it.
I mean, yeah, it's not dead, but yeah, it's definitely, there's not many new kids sort of getting into it or doing it.
There was the dude you sponsored who was an American that had front brakes and was really good, maybe 5 years ago.
Bobby Altizer? Yeah. Well, he's even, not that long ago, but Bobby's amazing. I mean,
is he still riding? And
yeah, he's still riding.
Yeah.
He's still killing it, for sure.
Is he on Colony or no?
No, he rides for Standard now.
Oh, cool. Okay, that makes sense for his neck of the woods.
Yeah, well, that's his neck of the woods, so, that's all cool there. But, yeah, I mean, Bobby's amazing. I mean, yeah, ridiculously good.
I was always a fan.
Yeah, totally.
Something different, man.
Totally.
I just love seeing something different.
Totally, yeah.
Such a nice breath of fresh air.
No,
It's
definitely.
just not the same shit.
Yeah.
That's why I love a couple of your dudes like Zachariah Dangerfield and Ricky Catanzaretti.
Yeah.
Like those dudes just do something, like not front brake guys, but they do something totally different.
Yeah, well, and that's it. I don't want... I've sort of worked hard for Colony. I guess a lot of brands out there are, kind of pigeonholed as either a park brand, a street brand, or a trail brand, or whatever sort of style of rider.
Yep.
And I've always wanted to, just from my background of being a freestyle rider, I guess, riding all sorts of terrains, is to have Colony as that brand that, we have flatlanders, we have street riders, we have mini ramp riders, dirt riders, bowl riders, all sorts of different styles. And that's what I really want with my brand, is to make it a very diverse sort of a thing. So
You're still making and selling flatland products?
A few of them, yes.
Okay.
We do a complete bike. We do have a frame out, some pegs, handlebars and so forth. So, and tires. Not huge range, but yeah.
Enough?
Yeah, no, the complete bikes actually sell quite well. Considering.
What makes it a complete flatland bike? Is it just smaller, more aggressive geometry?
Yeah, aggressive, shorter geometry. I mean, comes with 4 pegs, a free coaster, front and back brakes, a gyro, long seat post and so forth. So yeah, it's a full, legit, 0 offset forks.
What's the top tube on that?
That is 18.9.
Oh, so it's okay.
Oh, definitely. It's a flat. You can't ride anything else.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you take that and just be your own bike? No, it's a flatland bike.
It's a flatland bike, yeah, for sure. So
is that the only flatland complete on the market?
Oh no, there are others.
Okay.
But I mean, especially in Australia, it's the only one that's available.
Okay.
And other countries, it's probably a bit hard to find other ones as well too. But there are some.
Yeah. Do you have some products like that are only available in Australia?
No, typically, pretty much I guess sometimes, yeah, and some certain distros won't order certain things because, BMX is different in all sorts of different markets and countries. So what works in one country is not necessarily going to work in another. So, yeah, I guess in Australia we do keep the full range, obviously. In other countries it might be a little bit scarcer. So,
yeah. So I have a question for you here, and you can not tell this story if you don't want to, or you can. Is it true there was a period and you were banned from the United States for like 10 years?
Yeah, it was 5 years, but yeah, definitely.
I round up.
No, you're all right. Actually, it probably was. I was banned for 5, but then didn't go there for 10. But no, definitely. I guess it was 1999. 98 prior to that, went to the States, did well. Went in first pro comp, got 8th or whatever, sitting up there on the decks of Mirror and Miron and Asado and whoever else. It was pretty amazing. So,
were you the first Australian guy to really kind of come over and do that?
Yeah, I guess I was. I went on a trip there with Colin McKay.
Okay.
Another guy, Shane Smith, and Glenn McLaughlin, the one I mentioned
cool.
earlier that works for me. We all did a 4-man road trip, went to the States for 2 months, rode around, and I mean, got a car, landed in LA, drove over to New York and back and everywhere in between, and did all sorts of stuff. I guess at those comps we went to the BS comp stand and we went Stunt Boy. I'd won the Oceanside one, and so that allowed me to turn pro. So I went in the pro class and ended up getting 8th in that. So I guess I was.
So that's when you show up to ride an amateur contest, and all of a sudden you're competing against Dave Mira.
Oh, it was amazing. I was like, wow, this is
dream come true.
Yeah, it was cool. Then I was gonna come back and the next year in '99 and ride, but I'd done a stupid thing, had a speeding ticket, sort of lied to try to get out of it and whatnot, and
in the US,
in Australia.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Then I applied for just a normal visa to come to the States, and there was a question: have you ever been convicted of a criminal offence? And I was like, oh, I asked the travel agent. She said, oh, you should tick yes there. I was an ex-cop. Oh, okay. So I tick yes, and bang, automatic 5-year.
No
ban.
way.
Yeah, just because you admit to that. But then it ends up being that it was such a small offence that it was just a traffic offence. So it was not a...
They actually wouldn't have...
It wouldn't even have been a thing.
You could have marked no.
Exactly. But because I ticked yes, then that was that sort of thing. And... yeah.
How did that affect your career as a pro
definitely.
rider?
I was devastated.
Gnarly, right?
I was devastated. I was ready to come back to the States and start riding, and that was right on the cusp of everything sort of blowing up over here with the X Games back then, I guess, and whatnot. But I was devastated for sure. It definitely hit me for 6, and but yeah, that it opened my eyes to other places outside of the States. So hence going to the Worlds in Germany in 2000, and then just going, wow, this is cool, and just going to the European scene a lot. And then eventually that thing had run out, but then still probably went 5 years later that I just, not interested in going there or whatever. Yeah. Don't need to, don't want to. And then eventually I did. And yeah, all's
and now
fine.
It's all good when you go. You get,
of course, yeah, totally. Yeah.
There's no weirdness at the border.
No, not at all.
I know how they love to grill people.
Yeah, no, all good, all good.
Yeah, I think I've known a lot of Australian BMX riders that come to the United States and get in trouble, and I'm like, one of them's going to get banned. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Dudes are going too hard. And I don't think anybody ever really does.
Yeah. I mean, touch wood.
Knock on wood. Yeah. There you go. Did you ever envision yourself when you were young trying to be a pro rider that you'd have your own brand?
Not at all. I mean, when I started riding, I mean, being sponsored or being a pro or anything wasn't even a question. That was just too far off to even think of that. And it's funny to see kids now that's their whole fixation on stuff is, they want to be sponsored or whatnot. But all I would say to, kids like that is to just have fun with it. I mean, have fun. And as long as you're having fun with it, good things will eventually come and you'll get noticed and so forth. Don't try to, don't go asking for it. That's a surefire thing for any brand owner to go, you know what? Nah, I'm not interested sort of thing. So, just have fun with it, and you get yourself out there, ride, have fun. You'll get noticed, and good things will come.
What advice would you have for a young rider with an entrepreneurial spirit that looks at a brand like Colony and wants to have their own brand? Whether I know you helped the dudes out that were starting the shoe company a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So what advice do you give to these young people and new people in BMX that want to create and do something positive? Is there anything anybody taught you along the way that would kind of keep you on the right track? And
I mean, do it for the right reasons. Don't do it. I never started Colony thinking we're going to be, even sell anything almost. It was just like, oh yeah, this would be cool. I have a couple of things out, whatever. Like, don't go after it thinking that BMX is going to be some gold mine for you, because sadly it just isn't. So do it because you love it, you want to do it, and it may be a means to somewhat support yourself, but and others. But yeah, don't do it thinking you're going to be a millionaire out of it, because it's not going to happen.
Full passion play.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you want to do a business to make money out of it, then go do anything else. But
learn the stock market.
Yeah, exactly.
Go That's hustle a bit. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your Volkswagen collection. I hear you have quite the impressive Volkswagen collection. I'm not exactly super literate in Volkswagens, but I hear yours is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I guess it is. That's all Chad DeGroot's fault.
Is it really?
It is.
Okay.
I think Poor Boy 500 Miles or whatever video it was came out at the time, and Chad was in it. Maybe it was another video, I don't know. But at the time he had a dark blue Volkswagen Type 3 Squareback.
Okay.
And that was in the background of the video. And I just like, oh wow, at the time Chad was one of my favorite riders. And again, riding ramp, riding flatland, all the stuff. That's what I'm about. And I was like, wow, what sort of car is that? I didn't even know what it was. And then my then car at the time happened to blow up, and I needed to get a new car. And I was like, hey, I'm going to get one of those things. So I hunted around, found one. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool, got it. And the first night I drove down to Beenleigh Skate Park, and I'm driving along almost at the park and hear this like noise, like tick, tick, tick. And I was like, what's that? So I pull over, and just as I pulled over, the left-hand rear wheel pretty much fell off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cheated death.
Yeah. So then jacked it back up, put that back on and whatnot. And yeah, learned pretty quickly how to fix it and do whatnot, and customized it myself a bit, and loved that thing to death. And then when I moved to Germany in 2001, that was pretty much going to be I'm moving there for life, or a good good period of time. So had to sell it, sold it, and then never really wanted to, but had to. And then years later, when sort of started Colony and things started going all right, I was like, you know what, I want to reward myself and get myself a cool little Volkswagen again. And now I've got like 8 of them or something. So yeah, it's Do
you have some pretty rare ones?
Yeah, some of them are. Yeah.
So what are some of the cool ones?
I mean, I've got 2 Type 3 squareback panel vans, which are very sort of a rare one that's just only made for the Australian and Norwegian markets. Basically a little station wagon, but instead of windows in the back, it's got panels. That's a factory
Is that
thing.
the one you have Colony on the side of?
Yeah, the brown one. Yeah, that's right.
Really cool.
And I've got a white one like that.
Okay.
Then I've got a 58 split screen combi, which is
Do they all run? You drive them all?
Yeah.
That's
pretty
awesome.
much. I mean, 2 of them right now don't, but they're sitting there to be works in progress whenever I get the time. Then I've got a 74 Brasilia, which is a car only made for the Brazilian market.
Oh wow! How'd you get that?
My distributor in Brazil,
Marcelo,
from Dream BMX, helped me get that, and we shipped it out, and we thought, this would be a good little side business. We'll just import V-dubs from Brazil to Australia.
Is there a market? Like, the people want them?
We'll never do that ever again.
Okay.
We had to bribe government officials and all
really?
sorts of stuff to get it out of the country, and so much red tape. And I mean, hats off to Marcelo for hanging in there with me for it. But it was a lot of hassle. So, but that I've got a 74 Fridolin, which is basically they made them for the German and Swedish markets. It's a postal van.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Swedish one I've got, they only made 1,201 of those for the whole sort of world.
So were you able to find most of these in Australia, or do you have to import them from...
No, most... that one I got in Australia. There was only 2 of those in Australia, so I've got one of them.
Okay.
Most others I've imported from overseas, so...
hell of a collection.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's big
crazy. You got your VW collection. You got your ramp. So you're doing all right.
Yeah, No, we're
life's good.
Working hard for sure. So
that's good. You got to stay sane.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, they're my clear my head, go for a drive on a Sunday, whatever, and just let the wind go through my hair, I guess.
Sounds kind of beautiful. I guess we all have to work hard for a reason. You know? Got to buy cool shit. What bike are you riding right now? What frame is that? Is it the Prodi?
That's the Prodi, yes. So that's a bit of a... Leased that a couple of years ago, but that's a throwback to a frame in... It would have been 1993. At the time, getting a frame, or most frames back then were pretty bad. You'd be breaking them, you'd be welding them and whatnot. And so there was a little Brisbane bike shop that actually offered custom-made frames. So I went to them with...
So they had a welder there.
That's right. So and tube bender. So I went to them with our design. They made it. Bang. We thought, this is pretty cool. We'll make these frames. And so myself had one. My friend Michael Canfield had one. And then Ross Lavender had a Flatland version. And we're like, yeah, cool. This is our little brand. It's called Prodi. And we sold one frame. So it was pretty good. So
this is a throwback with modern geometry.
Exactly.
But based on
so
that
it looks similar to what it was back then. But modern geometry and so forth. So I mean, it has a platform. I don't even use the damn thing, but
cool.
I just love looking down at it, and I think I'm back in 1995 or something. So
is it a heavy frame or is it not bad?
No, it's actually really light. This version here, we use the same tubing that we use on our GTI Mark 1 race frame.
Oh wow, okay.
And it's actually Dennis Anderson was just riding this earlier today at the Pro Cup there and doing all front brake stuff. And
cool.
Afterwards he goes, man, that thing's really light. And I go, yeah, you wouldn't think so looking at it, would you?
No, that's why I asked. I'm looking at it here. It looks
it is light. Yeah. So, for what it is.
So is this frame in the line or is this limited edition?
This light one isn't in the range right now.
Okay.
But there are 2 versions that you can buy.
Okay.
Right now. This one we will release it at some point soon, but didn't want to saturate it with too much
10 different products.
Yeah, do 10 different things and whatnot. So we'll leave it for a little bit, but it will be available.
I'm not sure if I was aware that you guys did a race frame.
Yeah, we do. At lots with Colony, have had lots of people asking to do all sorts of styles of bikes over the years, and I've always, I don't know nothing about it to really do that. Like, it's quite apparent when you see a mountain bike company coming to BMX and they start making BMX bikes. It's quite apparent that very transparent that they don't know what they're doing.
It's about the money. It's about the
opportunity. It'd be like me trying to make fixed gear bikes or something. I don't know nothing about that, even though I've been asked for it, but like, no. But race frames is another one that we keep getting asked, you should do a race frame. I'm like, no. Then end up meeting a guy called Bruce Morris back in Brisbane, Australia, and he's 50 plus, gun BMX racer, all about chromo frames. And
hell yeah.
Eventually he said
platform pedals.
Pretty much just handed me a design. I said, look, let's do this. And I caved in and we did it. And we've only done one version of it, but it's done well. It was just a cool thing, fun thing on the side. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
So did you sell a lot of them? Like, are there a lot? You go to the racetrack and you see somebody riding a Colony, or is there not a whole lot of them out there?
We did 50. So,
okay.
Just sort of capped it at that sort of a number. And, we'll probably do a GTI Mark II at some point, I'm sure. So,
good name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you a bit of a hoarder? Do you have to keep one of all these frames?
Well, since I've got what I call the Colony Museum back home, I guess. Got my shed at home. And, it's got, over the years, every time we superseded something with the last one in stock, so I just throw in this box.
Okay.
And forgot about them. Not forgot about them, but just kept throwing stuff. I had nowhere really to put it all. And probably over 10 years there, all sorts of different things. And just recently, 6 months ago, had my shed and set it all up and getting stuff out of these boxes and just going, wow, I forgot we even made this and whatnot, and got it all on display in glass cabinets up on walls and whatnot. And probably the last few years I have kept each one of my bikes and just hung it up on the wall, and it's cool to see a bit of a timeline of the brand progression. And, it's just a cool place to hang out and have a beer, basically. So.
How often do you build you a new bike?
That one there, I've been riding for coming up to a year now.
Oh wow, right. So you're not crazy. You're not every 2 months you can do this.
Oh no way, no. Even though I got a warehouse full of
sitting
parts,
around all this exciting shit.
You definitely could, but no. To be honest, I hate riding new bikes.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like your own bike.
Got to break it in.
Yeah, I don't like it. This thing, I love this thing right now. So, we'll keep it going.
Is every single part on that bike Colony?
Yes, except for the front brake cable and the chain and tubes, I guess. But yeah,
that's one thing I've always admired about Colony is I think one of kind of the first brands that made everything. Brake cables, top cups,
No, we do. We've got chains coming out. Again, I haven't really wanted to bring out stuff just for the sake of having it, but if I've actually got something to offer on that, then
a little change or something.
Yeah, something to make it unique. Then
yeah.
I probably should make front brake cables, but it'd probably just be me buying them. So But other than that, everything else is it's definitely Colony. And I'm somewhat into having my bike feel light. And that's just a stock bike, all the parts off the shelf. So, and it is a pretty light bike for something with 4 pegs, gyro front brakes, and air conditioning. So
In a perfect world, where do you see Colony in 10 years?
Like me, still riding bikes, having fun, and making good products.
No crazy goals outside of that. No.
Nah.
Pretty happy with everything's going.
I'm
simple man.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. I don't need to see it grow exponentially each year or whatnot. I just want it to keep doing what it does. As long as we can pay everyone's sort of wages, send guys around having fun, traveling the world, doing what we're doing. That's all I need out of it. So,
respect to that. I'll hit you with one more question here, the important one that everybody has to answer. Who's your favorite rider of all time?
Can I say 2?
Yeah, but the first one counts.
Dave Asado.
Good answer. He was on Colony for a minute, right?
No, Dave Frymouth was.
Okay. Yeah.
So, that was amazing to have, and if I had to say 2, it would be Dave Asado and Dave Frymouth.
Yeah.
And then if I had to say 3, it'd be Tobias Vicker after that.
Oh, good. He was on.
Well, he is now.
Oh, cool. Okay.
That's right. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, no. So,
I get to hang out with him a little bit because he's coaching the German team. So when I go to like Olympic qualifier events, he's there a lot, which is so fucking cool.
I was hoping to see him this German trip, but he's busy doing other stuff.
I think he's in the Austria thing.
Yeah, he's busy doing all sorts of different things.
Which is awesome. An opportunity, a job that came
from
this
of course, for sure.
Tobias has this cool gig.
Definitely.
Working with a bunch of cool riders.
Dave Asado then. If I had to pick one, it would be Asado.
I think Asado might be maybe the greatest of all time. Asado's fucking incredible.
Amazing. Yeah.
Some of the shit he did. I remember watching him do a tail-up to Fufunu on a sub so many years
That
ago.
was at, big back rail at Hastings.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was there for that. That was ridiculous.
I remember being a child and it was on TV at Interbike and everybody was freaking out.
Yeah.
I was probably 14 or 15 and just everybody's crowding around this TV to watch this Dave Osato clip that was probably 4 months ago or something, but it was just nobody had ever seen anything like it before. You know?
I mean, yeah, and then, for a bunch of years there, we would come over to Europe here and travel together and so forth. Or I'd go to his house and stay there and we'd go to the Metro Jams in Vancouver. And to call Dave a friend was, being that he was someone that I really looked up to riding wise, and having him stay at my house and, drink Bundy rum and have Vegemite sandwiches and stuff. It was pretty cool. So
do you stay in contact with him?
Yeah, I mean, just via Instagram and so forth, and text message every now.
Sounds like he's doing well.
Yeah, no, he is.
Which is awesome.
He's doing well. Definitely. He actually messaged me not so long ago. Says he'd like to do some exchange fireman thing where he's real keen to come to Australia and move his whole family out.
Is that something that exists? An exchange fireman thing?
I said, I don't know any firemen, but I'll see what I can do.
Gotta trade somebody for him. I'll trade any fireman in this goddamn country.
Exactly. Have Dave Osato hanging out in Brisbane. That'd be pretty cool. So
yeah, not bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Clint, I appreciate the time. Congratulations on everything. You've built something really cool here, and it's something to be really proud of. And
no, thank you.
I was excited to see it moving forward and the support you're giving to the industry and the riders and stuff. So you're a good man.
No, thank you. I'll be doing this for a lot longer yet. So
well, cheers to that. Let's drink these goddamn beers.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Clint.
Cheers.
All right, that does it for today. Big thank you to Mr. Millar for stopping by. Be sure to follow Colony on Instagram at Colony BMX Brand and Clint himself at Colony VW. And until next time, just remember, it doesn't count if you don't pull the rollback. See ya.